Hey guys, Steph Mischuk here. So this is going to be an unusual video for this particular channel. It's a tech channel. It's about careers and code. Well, it may seem unusual, but it's actually very relevant. So what I want to talk about now is a psychological phenomena called confirmation bias, and which leads me to a larger point. The larger point is when you are making decisions, when you are making important decisions in your life or in anything, whether it be hardware, software, whatever, outside of work, inside of work, you should try to make your decisions. You should try to make your decisions as dispassionately as possible, without emotion. If you see yourself at the store and you're looking at an iPhone or Android, or you're looking at this computer, that computer, or you're considering this programming and that programming language, and you start feeling in a physiological or an emotional response to the decision, if it gets you excited because, ooh, it's nice, I would suggest you cool your heels. And when you study psychology, you realize that most people, well, just about everybody, 99% of the time, 99% of people make their decisions based on the monkey brain, the lower brain. The lower brain's like huge versus our higher level cognitive brain. And so we make most of our decisions based on these low level impulses, emotion, feelings. And so what's confirmation bias? Confirmation bias is an interesting phenomenon that happens in humans all the time, in that once you have an idea or a perception about something, then your brain is going to be looking for evidence of that basic perception. Your brain is always looking for patterns that way. So what does that mean? So if you feel that Apple has the best operating system, your mind is going to be then structured, your brain is going to be biased to look for good things about Apple macOS or iPhones if you're into iPhones. You're always going to be looking at how great it is, and you're going to be avoiding subconsciously or consciously all the negatives. And that's why you see people that get caught in these camps, and it's hard for them to get out. So if politically, if you're a Democrat, then everything Democrats do is good. And the things that are not so good, you kind of excuse them. You come up with excuses. Well, they do it, And if you're a Democrat, then everything Republicans do, they're terrible, and vice versa. So, and I see that in political races, but I also see that in things like hardware. I would see huge battles, Mac guys versus Windows guys, or PHP guys versus Ruby guys. You know what I mean? It's just so on and so forth. Pick your language, pick your group, and they're gonna have fights. And the people who are on one camp will be looking for holes in the other camp, and vice versa. And it's all about emotional gratification. And I confuse people because I don't have that for some reason. I've always been an eclectic by choice. And I think what it is because I'm always looking for the best route. I'm not looking to sort of reinforce a position. For me, my number one motivation always has been, what is the truth? What is the actual truth? So that's why I know all these programming languages, because I would say, okay, let's explore this one. Okay, let's explore C#. How is it different from Java? Let's explore JavaScript. Let's explore PHP. Let's explore et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is something that is just in my nature. I did it in martial arts. I did martial arts for almost 30 years steady. And I've done many different styles, from traditional systems to fighting systems, from kung fu's to silat to boxing to wrestling to judo, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I did this because I was always looking for different ideas, different points of view, because I felt that, at the end of the day, nobody has all the answers. Not one system solves all the problems. What's that old expression? One shoe size does not fit all, that kind of thing. All I'm suggesting to you is when you're going through your coding life, whether you're choosing languages and technologies and whatnot, try not to find yourself in a camp. Yes, you may like Apple today, and they may be the best today, but be open to the possibility that something better might come out somewhere else. Be open to that possibility. You may be a Python guy today. Python's amazing, but be open to the possibility that another language may come out. You know, another framework might come out that could be better, it could be advantageous given certain circumstances. Yada, 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 yada. All I'm suggesting to you is be open to new points of view, new ideas. It's only going to strengthen you. Now, I should point out that I'm one of these type of guys who, for instance, doesn't care about sports teams. Like I'm in Montreal, and everybody's almost religiously follow the Montreal Canadiens, and it always freaks me out how if the Canadians are doing really well, all my friends are like happy. It's like they're doing really well. Oh wow, we're doing really good, and they always refer to the Canadians as we. So yeah, how we're doing this week? How do we do? How we do? And I'd be a bit of a party pooper. I go, what do you mean we? I said, you're not part of the Canadians. And they go, wow, they're our team. They're not your team. You don't own the team. The Molsons, the rich family, the Molsons family own the team. You have nothing to do with the team. You have nothing to do with them. You happen to just live in the same city as them. That's all. If they win, you get no money. If they win, you get no money. If they do really well, what does that do for you? It makes you feel good because you've been told, you've been tribalized into thinking that somehow if your sports team does well, that you do well. But the reality is it doesn't have any impact on you whatsoever. It's all been, you've been literally hypnotized into believing that if your sports team does well, that you're going to do well. It's all kind of silly. It's not silly. It's remnants of our lower brains, of our monkey brains. The monkey brains are very tribal. And how does that work? Why do so many people feel so good about if their city's sports team does well, whether it be football, basketball, hockey, baseball, whatever? Why do they feel good about that? And I think it comes down to this. It comes down to the monkey brain. It comes down to tribalism. And what it is that if you think about a troop of monkeys, you got a big troop of monkeys. And the alpha monkey in your group, if he is able to beat up the alpha monkey of the competing tribe, then you keep your spot. You get all the fruit and the trees on your tree. But if your alpha monkey gets the crap kicked out of him by the other troop's alpha monkey, then your troop gets kicked out of the nice tree, and you don't got the fruit, and you could get killed. So it made sense with the beta monkeys are all going, go alpha monkey, kick ass, all right, he did really well, all right, kick ass. So it's very much in our lower brain to want to support the alphas and the alpha monkeys. And in our culture today, for better or for worse, the sports stars are the alpha monkeys. They're the alphas. So it really preys upon this whole sports team thing. It really preys upon our lower brain function, which is a very powerful influencer on us. And that's why marketing, by the way, always appeals to the lower brain. It doesn't try to appeal to the higher intellect, because they know that the lower brain has a far greater influence on us than other things, than our cognitive minds and our thinking minds. There's gray area, and it depends on people. Some people are a little bit more influenced than others, and so on. But all I'm suggesting to you, I'm not saying sports are bad before people go nuts. Enjoy the sports. I used to love watching boxing. But when I would go to a boxing match, and I would go get great seats at Atlantic City or Las Vegas, fly out. I was big into boxing. But I never cared who won the fight. I was not like, go Mike Tyson or go Mayweather or go. All I cared about was the actual sporting event. I was a student of boxing. I boxed a lot. So for me, it was about the execution, to see who, in boxing, I guess it's literally that, to see who was going to play the game better, and I wanted to see a real good game. And whoever won, that was cool with me, as long as it was a fair match. So again, coming back to technology, try not to make decisions based on emotionality. Try not to be tribal, I suggest to you. Do what you want in the end. But the advantage of this is that you're going to be a free thinker if you're not tribal. And I think if you remember that old movie, I guess it's old now, The Matrix. And The Matrix is really all about that. At the beginning it says you're going to take the red or the blue pill. It's about opening your mind up to getting outside of the frameworks that are posed upon us, getting outside the tribal mindset, whether it be about sports teams, whether it be about politics, whether it be about Mac or Windows or Linux, whether it be about PHP, Java, Python, or Ruby, whatever. Try not to get religious. Remember, I did a video a little while back where I'm just talking about, I said I wouldn't learn Ruby today. And I was clear to point out that Ruby on Rails and Ruby had some great things about the languages. Like, I wasn't dissing the languages, but I said I wouldn't get into it today because of the market forces. Nothing more. And I got some guys, they were attacking me viciously. If you look at the thumbs down, a lot of thumbs down. Those are all Ruby people who are tribal, right? They're tribal. You're attacking our tribe. We got to attack you. They couldn't hear that I was saying, yeah, it's good. It's a good language, a good framework. But, I wouldn't learn it today for the reasons I specified. But they get it's so tribal, it's so lower brain monkey, right? I couldn't care. If somebody came to me today and said, listen, we're going to pay you big money and we want you to do Ruby on Rails. Okay, whatever, I'll do it. I care, Today I do what I do typically. My apps are PHP based because of a whole bunch of advantages I spoke about before these days, but I've written apps in many different languages, and who knows where apps I might be involved with in 3-4 years. They might be in Ruby. No, I don't think they'll be in Ruby. The chances are they'll be in Python or JavaScript or PHP, one out of three. That's it. So I hope this blog made sense to you. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. That tells me that it's a good video and I should do more like this. I'm experimenting with the idea, as you may or may not know, of long form videos like this one where I talk a little bit longer versus the short form videos where I just sort of stick to a micro subject. So we'll figure it out. Maybe I can sort of put a note that, this is a long one. Well, of course, you could just look at how long they are. Some people tell me they like to listen to this a little bit in the background while they are having a coffee, so I can understand how a 3-minute video would be annoying in that situation. Anyway, I hope this blog was useful, and we shall talk very soon, I would imagine. Ciao.